What is up, everybody? Luke Film Boss here, and today I will be reviewing The Bride. Now, The Bride is a new Warner Brothers film directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. If you think that name's familiar, it's because she's the sister to Jake Gyllenhaal, and she also played Rachel in The Dark Knight. So she's kind of been more so an actress in Hollywood for a while, and I don't know if she has any directing credits or if this is her debut film. I'd have to go look that up. But I know that she is here. This is kind of her first big directorial debut, and I personally thought it was a really sincere work of art. I enjoyed it quite a bit. The Bride is just a wacky, fun, full of atmosphere. It's a period piece. The attention to the historical detail, although I'm sure a lot of historians or, people that actually study, what kind of cars did they have? What kind of outfits did they wear? They could probably find little nitpicks here and there, but I think for the most part, the historical setting gives this movie a lot of cool atmosphere, as does the mob storyline and the detective storyline that kind of just add a little bit more depth to the plot in this movie. But first and foremost, this movie is just a romance between Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, but he goes by the same name in this movie, and the Bride, which that whole thing was a lot of fun. Like, obviously it's the Frankenstein, you resurrect a human from the dead kind of storyline, and Frankenstein, he's lonely because he's a monster. He's alone in this world, so he wants to bring somebody into his life to be his bride. So him and the doctor, they bring this girl who had a unfortunate accident. They bring her back to life, and she can't remember things. She's confused, and so she just goes on this wild rampage with Frankenstein. They get into a lot of trouble. He's actually quite a respectable guy. He's just trying to protect his girl, and it causes a lot of problems because they are kind of frowned upon in society, especially when you kill a bunch of creeps who are not being very nice to your bride that you just brought back to the life, So I understand where Frank was coming from when he offed those two guys. I don't want to spoil too much. That happens pretty early on in the movie, so I'm not going to spoil much of what happens after that. But yeah, the plot, I enjoyed it quite a bit. Jessie Buckley was phenomenal as the bride, and she actually, I didn't know this going into the movie, she actually kind of plays two different parts, but they're the same person. Like, she plays the bride, but the bride, the resurrected body, is being kind of co-inhabited by the original mind, which I think her name was Ida, and then this other character, which I was kind of a little bit confused about what was going on, if she was a victim of the mob boss, or if she was, the way she was presenting it at the beginning, she was like the storyteller who created Frankenstein. I don't know. Either way, it was fun seeing Jessie Buckley play two different characters as the same character, the way that she would just like swap back and forth between the two personalities. She did a phenomenal job. I honestly think that this was an Oscar-worthy performance. I don't know, due to the box office failure and the critical mixed reviews, if this movie is going to get any Oscar recognition next year. But I think Jessie Buckley, she deserves at least a nomination. This was fantastic. She's so good in this movie, and I'm hoping that she gets work elsewhere. I don't know what else she's in or, already signed on for in the future, but I want to see more of her. Christian Bale as Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster, he did phenomenal. He did a really good job. The makeup on him was peak stuff. Like, this movie just, like I said, a sincere work of art. So much went into this. The costumes, the hair, the makeup, the production design, and the script was just really good. And then the acting. This film seems like it was made just to be a really good movie, but it kind of feels like it was structured to be an Oscar contender. And I'm kind of disappointed because I don't know if it will be. I think it definitely should be. There's a lot of things that I think this movie could go for in the Oscars next year. But unfortunately, due to circumstances, I'm not sure if that's the route that this movie is gonna go on. I think this movie could just be really short-lived, unfortunately. But it's a fantastic movie. Maybe fantastic is a little bit overboard, but I'd give it a solid B plus, maybe B. Uh, so that's kind of my thoughts on The Bride without spoiling too much. Fantastic production, fantastic acting, fantastic direction. This movie has some good emotional moments to it. The romance between the bride, who just is so confused after being resurrected, and Frank, who's been alone for 100 years, and then they add a little bit here and there, about the women being suppressed and stuff, and guys being kind of pervy sometimes. But I do like that this movie does sort of nuance it with some good male characters and some mixed female characters. And I think because the story centers a lot of the background and lore, so to speak, in the fact that this mob boss mistreats and kills a lot of innocent young girls, I think they were able to make the point and get across the message about male predators that they were getting across without making it seem too much like a man-hating movie, because it really isn't. And that's a problem that Hollywood has had, where it's like the men are all evil, women are all precious angels. This movie gives, especially I think due to the relationship between the bride and Frankenstein, was able to give us a nuanced look at the dynamics between both men and women. And I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's a lot more that I could say about this movie. Like I said, I did really enjoy it. But I think I'm going to give The Bride an 82% in quality and 86% in enjoyment, because I just had a great time. And it's going to be an overall score of 84%. Not quite the best of the year. I was really, really excited for this one. I was hoping it would be a downright masterpiece that I wanted it to be. But it overall was just a solid B movie. And that's okay, because it's a B movie with style. So thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to help you be on the lookout for more videos from Luke Film Boss. Bye.